Welcome to my video to help you use dialogue effectively in your writing. On a quick note before we get started, this video is not going to show you how to use the mechanics of dialogue. Instead, we're going to show you some strategies and some things you need to know. That way, the dialogue is effective when you write. Dialogue is when an author writes the exact words a character is saying. It can be written in many types of writing. For example, screenplays have lots of dialogue. Because it's a script, the characters are doing most of the talking. You don't see quotation marks in screenplay writing like this. Also, comics use dialogue all the time. They just use it in a different form. They use the bubble box, the little bubbles, like they do here. What we're going to talk about today is dialogue in prose. Prose is a type of writing you'll see in fiction and lots of nonfiction too, such as newspapers and magazines. A quick sample of this looks like this. Ellie looked at Zach and said, "You have the coolest stripes." "Yes," said Zach, "I do." Let's talk about speech tags. First of all, a speech tag identifies the speaker, such as Ellie said, Zach responded, stated Ellie. It's important that you know the speech tag can go in 3 different parts. My first example here, Ellie said, "I wish I had stripes." This speech tag is in the beginning of the sentence. Here, I break up the dialogue and I put the speech tag in the middle of the dialogue. "Well," Zach responded, "I wish I was really big." And then here, the speech tag goes at the end of the sentence. "I guess we should be happy the way we are," stated Ellie. It is a good idea to vary the location of your speech tag to make your writing more interesting. Also, don't use the same words such as "said" over and over again. If I would have said Ellie said, and then Zach said, and then Ellie said again, people would find it boring. Change up the words such as said, responded, stated, shouted, things like that. You also need to know that when you put the speech tag in the middle of the dialogue, that you break up the dialogue in an area that makes sense. "Well, I wish I was really big." I was going to put a comma after "well" no matter what. Therefore, it was a good spot to put a speech tag. I wouldn't want to say, "Well, I wish I," Zach responded, "was really big." It wouldn't make as much sense. So be careful when you're putting a speech tag in the middle of dialogue that it's in a spot that seems appropriate for the text. It's also important for you to know that dialogue, when used effectively, should support your writing and doesn't tell the story. Remember that you are the author. You want to tell the story. Your dialogue should support what it is you're writing. A good rule of thumb, dialogue should never take up more than 20% of your text. 80% of your writing at least should be your words and your writing. Let's take a look at a scenario where dialogue is used too often. "Zach, do you like your stripes?" asked Ellie. "They're okay," responded Zach. "What about you, Ellie? Do you like how big you are?" "Well, I like that I can carry heavy stuff," said Ellie. "I think you look so powerful," said Zach. "And I think your stripes make you look beautiful," said Ellie. Again, this writing, it isn't bad. However, it is a lot of dialogue, and we didn't get a chance to really understand what's going on in the characters' minds, and we didn't get a chance for that extra detail that the author should have added. So let's look at a sample when the author uses dialogue as support rather than the means of telling the story. "Zach, do you like your stripes?" asked Ellie. Zach thought for a moment. The truth was he wasn't sure. He always thought they were cool, but didn't like looking so different. Finally, Zach responded, "They're okay. What about you, Ellie? Do you like how big you are?" Just like Zach, Ellie wasn't sure. She never liked how she can be spotted from everywhere, but she did like one thing. "Well, I like that I can carry heavy stuff," said Ellie. "I think you look so powerful," said Zach. "And I think your stripes make you look beautiful," said Ellie. And with that, the two felt happy about themselves. Here you can see that the author tells a story by adding more details about what's going on in the characters' minds. Here, here, and then again at the bottom. The dialogue here supports the story and doesn't tell the story. Let's review. 1. We discussed how to use dialogue in prose. 2. Use speech tags to identify the speaker. 3. Dialogue should support your story, not tell it. Thanks for watching. Good luck.